Yes, well, this idea of representation interests me. You see, if you're a member of Parliament or Congress, when you have your district or constituency, as we call it, and it's the only job in the world where you have one employee, and in the case of Parliament, 60,000 employees, if you're a congressman, 240,000 employees, and you are responsible to them, you represent them. And what has happened recently, and I think it's something worth thinking about, the task of representation is to change the system to meet the needs of the people. But with the power of global capital, now, instead of being represented, people are being managed. People are being changed to fit them into the system, instead of the system being changed to meet people's needs. And that's a huge transformation. I mean, the world is now run not by the American president or the British Prime Minister, the International Monetary Fund, the World Trade Organization, the multinational corporations have far greater power than political leaders. And people sense this. And they become cynical and so on, and turnout in voting is low. But actually, this is an attempt to reverse the power of the vote and hand it over to corporations or international organizations that are not elected. Then you realize that you've lost something of fundamental importance. And I've participated in more elections than I can think of. And when I go into we call it a polling station, you call it a voting station, and you call it, and an old lady comes in on crutches, and with a pencil, she puts a cross on a bit of paper and puts it in a box. And with that cross, she can destroy a government without killing anyone.
Good evening, folks. Well, while you're all on lockdown, shitting bricks, wearing the muzzle and ready at any moment to obey the command to get in your kennel, some very naughty stuff's been going on down there in that shithole called London, specifically in our Parliament and the house of Lord Fauntleroy. Now, I'm being very calm, but it could get exciting because basically it's pissing me off somewhat that this is going on and nobody's taking a blind bit of notice. So we've just looked at Tony Benn explaining representational government, whereby you elect a councillor to represent you and to further and advance the services to you, the general public. No longer happening, is it? Well, as we've gone through, we're under occupation. Everything's been operated under occupational rules. They've taxed the economy to the max, they can do it no further, and so they are now finding other ways of raising revenue off the inhabitants. Now, as Tony Benn touched on, that they don't actually want you to vote and take part. But they do need your registration. And they need your registration because they need to assume they have your consent, even though you're not then voting. Now, the stakeholder committees, it's so important that people understand that this concept is real and exists in your town right now. The stakeholder committee are running the corporate show. In every town, in every village, anywhere there's a catchment of council power, etc., there is a stakeholder committee, and that's made up of these stakeholders in that area. Now, the Asda has just been bought. Interesting. Nothing wrong with buying and selling companies. However, the Asda is a major stakeholder on these committees across the nation. Now, that's a huge influence in your town, in your life, in your town centre, in your policing, in the way your council lie to you and do zero. It's an enormous power to be a stakeholder, which the Asda is, because it's a huge input into your area with employment and, of course, in supplying an essential thing, food and such. So, vote is not important, as Tony Benn presented, but having you register to vote is extremely important. Now, today, it's pretty clear a lot of people are just not even registering. People just don't want to take part in this charade, which by rights should cancel the charade out. Of course, we now know we've got a lot of components of the occupation being brought in through immigration to vote. And they're going to vote the way they're told to vote. In relation to the Muslims, it's the mosque that dictates those terms. I've written quite a few reports just explaining what's going on with the mosque, who's building them, what they're being used to do in order to change the Muslims into basically Zionism. Because money is the key to that game. Money, money, money. If you're chasing money, you are moving into that system. So it is important that we understand that the owners of the ASDA will have enormous power and influence in your town. Okay, it's important. So we need to start to look at what do these two guys represent. Now, my findings are showing that these brothers are but a front for the Rothschilds. It makes a lot of sense because of the speed at which their operation rolls. You don't get that without inside information as to what's happening all around you in your sphere of industry. And of course, the same people are then lending the money. And that's what we're seeing in this Euro garages now, ASDA owning billionaire front. Now, they're obviously going to try, they're a major part in dragging in the Muslims into this Zionist system. So Muslims need to be aware of that. But also, you, my fellow natives, you need to be very aware of this, because upon this now is surely enough ammunition to make you want to start to demand full exposure of these stakeholder committees, who's on them, who's benefiting, who's the executors, and basically who it is, these hoity-toits pushing out this nonsense global banking corporate system. So, back to the subject matter at hand. While you are all shitting yourself and staring at each other with bizarre expressions of the eyeballs, because of course you can't see the gob and the nose, well, you can't see the pouting, bonus. But come on, you got to jump off that a little bit now and just take a note of what's going on. In your House of Monkeys, once known as the House of Parliament, the unclean are very busy. Very, very, very busy indeed. Now, this bill is a private bill and it's been moved in the Commons by Judith Cummins, Bradford South, a Labour imp, unclean, unwashed fleabag. She says, I beg to move that leave be given to bring in a bill to impose certain duties upon Her Majesty's Government to ensure the accuracy, completeness and utility of electoral registers, to make provision for the sharing of data and the purposes of electoral registration, and for connected purposes. So already they're going to start using your data. They're giving themselves permission now to use all your data. So now we're getting civil system data moving into the corporate, and now they're playing a very nasty game here. And bear in mind what I've said about Tony Benn. They want you registered, but they don't actually want you to vote. Okay, but that then gives them their authority in their eyes through your consent. Alright? So they do need the registration, it's important. And of course the immigrants are taking that space now, as we, the natives, decide, fuck you, none of you are fucking talking a blind bit of sense. In fact, you're all pissing in the same pot and moving the very same agenda. And when you look at the House of fucking Lords, and I made reports about all the Lords and their interests last year before this COVID, and what I was pointing out then was how many of these Lords have huge shares and interests in all these companies that are now milking it on the back of you shitting yourself and being obedient, muzzle-wearing dogs ready to stay in the kennel on command. So, this is the bill proposed by Judith Cummins of the Unclean. The bill has a very simple aim: to ensure that everyone who is entitled to vote in this country is able to do so. It does that by moving away from the current system of electoral registration. So they're doing away with you having to register. Are you listening? And one that is complicated, fragmentary, and crucially incomplete. So they're slagging the old one off, even though we've had it for in fact, the longest time here with our parliament of buffoons. And they want to change it to a new system where individuals are automatically added to the register. Did you get that? These motherfucking monkeys, while you're all shitting yourself, are trying to enforce it now that every single person in this nation is automatically registered, and it's going to be based on all the data the one nation's civil system had that was secret into the hands of the buffoons above the buffoon monkeys in the Houses of Parliament and those nutmegs in the House of Lords. So they're giving themselves now this absolute autonomy on your automatic registration to vote. That's person. That ties into a whole raft of garbage and nonsense, which further thrusts you into slavery that you are very happy at the moment to carry out. So I'm thinking, where the fuck's Spartacus? You know what I'm saying? There's that many slaves here now. It's Spartacus you guys need, not somebody like me who's amazing and fantastic. I can only help warriors. I can't help the dumb, the infirm, the demented. It doesn't happen because you can't understand the fucking word I'm saying, and you just think, who's that motherfucker with glasses on talking bollocks, and why am I watching this video? Well, we don't care about you. You go and get vaccinated. It's the only fucking way I'm going to be in a world that's not full of numpties. I'm sorry, I did say I might get excited, and I am getting excited. This sea of masks I'm seeing every fucking where makes me stand out like a rock star. But never mind. It's just, come on. I've been in the supermarket today, no mask. Everybody's got fucking masks on. Are you brain dead? You now got fashion masks. You might as well just strip yourself naked, bend the fuck over, get out into town and just say, bum me, stupid, please. I can't get this nonsense that you're doing. Wake the fuck up. Right, stop the expletives. Be a good boy. Okay, back to the game. So they've blagged it now. The old one that we've had for hundreds of years is shit. All of a sudden now in 2020, because of COVID, that non-existent nonsense, everything that came before is absolute shite. Yep. Because 500 years of a system such has now been deemed absolutely outrageously shit, because the virus might get everybody and they might not register to vote. Then the system collapses because everybody's saying, piss off you monkeys, we're doing it all by ourselves. And then we hunt them down and hang them for treason. That's nothing to do with me. I'm just telling you what England says. England says treason, hang them. Pretty much it. I'm sorry, that's England. So if you're English and you like England, that's the law. So, of course, the duty is incumbent on all citizens of the realm of England and Scotland and them Welsh sheep down there that just shout English. They've not really got any purpose apart from shouting at the English. And keeping the Scots in a similar position, even though there are more Scots living in England than have ever lived in Scotland. That tells you something, you know, you Americans and other nations out there that think Scotland's some kind of an amazing place. The Scottish are so police controlled, and it has been so since at least the 1970s. It's terrible to see how the Scots don't actually live very well because of the nonsense system that's been... Well, what do you expect when the bloodlines live there? All the power, it doesn't live in London, it's just its administration desk They all live up in Scotland. That's where they live. And they've done that, well, since King David I, who invited a shed load of maniacs from Belgium to become the so-called Scottish clans, which is complete nonsense. The Scottish clans were way before all that nonsense and got absolutely knocked out. It's a shame, it's crap, but there's like I said, there's more Scottish in England than there's ever been in Scotland, so that tells everybody in the world something. You know, the shit you get on the telly with that silly little ginger woman ain't the real way things are going down over in Scotland. So as the SNP wait now, because that bill's been delayed, the devolution bill, the devolution bill for the councils to further devolve has been delayed, even though Capita has now apparently took over my yard. Now that's not happening. This is my gang. This is my land here. The Capita, you can piss off and stay over in Blackburn. You're not coming over in Aki, I'll tell you now. But they are. So it's like, and all these slaves everywhere, I'm just pissing in wind, because there's nobody fucking listening, and there's certainly nobody doing anything about it apart from getting posher masks. Right, my computer's gone off with all that ranting I've just done, so I need to get that back on there. Right, so they urgently want to change the electoral registration, which is shit all of a sudden, because of course you no longer, as Tony Benn said, putting a cross on a piece of paper that can blow up a government without having to do the Guy Fawkes shindig. You can do it with a cross. The cross is a bit dodgy, but never mind, we're not getting into that. But so, she says, I begin by paying tribute to my honourable friend and member for Cardiff Central, Joe Stevens, who introduced a similar bill in 2017, and Baroness MacDonough, who did so in the other place. That's the house of Lord Fauntleroy's, the real nutmegs. The ones that really want Brexit not to happen because they're getting millions to not farm the land, do shit all, apart from play golf and hunt foxes and shit. Not that I'm too bothered about fox hunting. I've seen what foxes do when they get in an house. They don't just kill one and run off with it for eats. They kill them all. I have to say, Mr. Fox is a bit naughty and he does have to learn some lessons. So I'm not that fussed about fox hunting, because they are quite a dangerous animal if you are raising little flea-bag things to eat. It's just no eggs. You get up in the morning, there's no eggs, it's blood. Blood everywhere. You know, Henrietta is dead. And it's just not a good thing. It's heartbreaking stuff when you love your little chickens and that. Anyway, never mind that. Not that I have any chickens, of course. I don't. I did once look after one when we were younger. We did seem to gain a pet, and I did actually. We had a hen called Henrietta, and we looked after her for a summer. And then I've no idea what happened. Maybe we got bored, or maybe they only come back. And really, we shouldn't have been looking after Henrietta for the entire summer. But never mind, she survived and laid eggs. So I do know about chickens in that sense. They do lay eggs, but not when the fox has chopped their head off. Right. So she's bigging up some other idiot. And this saying that they introduced a bill for automatic electoral registration in 2016. So it's not actually a new thing. They've been trying to blag this for quite a while, and of course now you're all brain dead and not listening to anything apart from Witty, the Pfeffel, who George Lees reckons is related to Hitler. Very interesting. You might want to check that out. George Lees, Hitler, the Pfeffel the Boris. Just check it out and see what you think. I'm not so sure myself, but these days I don't know what to believe anymore. So she says, I will shortly speak about how an automatic electoral registration system could work. Indeed, how it does work in many countries around the world. So that might be Timbuktu. Could be the Sahara Desert for the scorpions and other creatures and such. But first I would like to say something about the problems with the current registration system and why the pandemic makes this proposal. See, I fucking knew they'd bring pandemic in. It's all the fault of the pandemic that the British system, the realm, everything the ability to have business is just now all of a sudden, because the virus said so before it fucked off, although it's back again. I think it might be back with the second commandment, maybe. Who fucking knows? So the bastard's back, the pandemic's fucked everything, and now you all have to be automatically enrolled for registration to vote, even though they don't want you to fucking vote, because they can see that you can see what a bunch of twats they are, and that we are now heading back into primary school, where everybody shits herself, runs to teacher, grasses on everybody else that even smiles funny at them, because that's what you do when you're in primary school. I remember it. They're just numpties everywhere doing silly things. It's like, and girls do the sunny side up dance so that we can all look at the knickers. I remember that. Us boys just played British Bulldog every minute of every playtime, which was really boring, and we got battered half to death. And like when you're only like 5 and 6, it's just... Anyway, that was primary school. And then the teachers were evil. You know, you had to eat every bit of food, cabbage, even the funny coloured stuff. If you didn't eat it, you got slapped. Or you didn't get any milk, because they were big on milk then. Because with them days, we liked the cow. I know they slaughtered them in 2 sessions with CJD and then the foot and mouth. And lo and behold, all we have all over the fields today is sheep. Ooh, symbolism. Although I haven't seen any bar lambs with a mask on. So maybe they've now overtook the human in sensibility, because they're not wearing masks and they're certainly not fucking social distancing. Maybe you Council Wallers need to get some fucking officers down there rapid. There's sheep, there's fucking birds. I've seen birds all day not social distancing. I mean, come on. First, it's about time you got up in fucking sky with your drones and started arresting these fucking dicky birds. I mean, they've done the breeding there. You can vaccinate all the babies. You'll like that. Bill Gates will make a fucking fortune. Vaccinate. Fuck it, just vaccinate everything. Everything. If it moves, vaccinate it. Grass, fucking plant, fuck it, vaccinate the fucking lot, yeah. Did I get excited then? I think I might have got excited. I told you I fucking might get excited today, because this is, you guys are just thinking, what's he on about the dick? This is fucking important stuff, because they're going to take full command of their system with your consent, because you're automatically registered and you're busy in kennel searching for the next born. Do you remember? Well, last time I knew you were getting that fed up, you were knowing at fucking telly. I suppose it's better than knowing at wife, but she might leave. Anyway, no, that's just my bad experiences of life, so that we'll not let that get into the game. So I don't think what we need to do is go through this piss, because it is piss, actually, and I might get even more excited if we just... So basically what these shitasses are doing is putting in loads of shitty bills while you're not looking. And there are more. There's more bills that they're doing. And maybe we need to have a look at one of others. So they've got abortion for cleft lip, cleft palate and club foot bill. So just abort it. Fuck it. Kill your kid. Kill the fucker. Yeah. Stem cells. Aborted fetal cells, which Cadbury's, Nestle, Coca-Cola are putting them in the products because it's sweet as chips. So think about these guys. You're cannibals now. You're actually cannibals. Oh, you're eating murdered babies. Shoot your face, you feminists. If you kill your baby, you're a fucking murderer. End of story. I don't care who says different. They are fruit bats. Don't listen to fruit bats. So they're having access to palliative care and treatment of children bill. Palliative care for fucking children. Fucking, can you see? They're sticking in age of criminal responsibility bill, so they're changing that. An agriculture bill. So that's probably less food to be grown, more money to be given to farmers to sit on the fat ass do fuck all. Apart from keep you off the land and nick all the fucking public rights of ways, getting the horsey people to put fucking barricades up everywhere and shout at people if they ride the bikes. That's not good. That's really going to cause some damage, that, you know what I'm saying? And a horse is easily dealt with if you just throw a brick at it. Especially when you're galloping. You would come off and hopefully break your neck. Stop this trying to nick the countryside, girls. I know that Scotland has expanded itself down to Lake District with the national parks. Have people ever noticed that as well? Look at a map. Scotland has been extended down to the Lake District. In fact, it's been extended down to the Yorkshire Dales. That now is owned by the bloodlines because the Rothschilds run the national trusts. Can you dig it? Can you see the crack? It's all going down, guys. Animal welfare sentencing bill. Oh, so fuck me. Cat's going to have to stay in now, quarantine. Dog going to have to shit in a bag in your living room. The gerbil can't come out after 6 o'clock at evening. And it certainly can't be doing any mating with Minnie Mouse. That is forbidden under the no sex in the house malarkey if they're not your wife or your husband. I could say something about it. I'm not going to say that. Anonymity for arrested persons. Ooh. Anxiety. Environmental concerns. Fucking anxiety. Oh my God. Can you see what that's going to do? Oh my God. Anxiety. Environmental concerns. Oh. Anxiety in the schools. Oh. Environmental concerns. What the fuck has anxiety got to do with environment? Can you see? Agenda 21. Everything's being shoved into environmental. Where the mentals actually work. Fucking demented motherfuckers they are. Fucking screaming piss faggots. Right. Armed Forces Posthumous Pardons Bill. Just fucking pardon them when they're alive and stop fucking about with our boys from Bloody Sunday. Okay? They did what they were told. Yeah? If you'd have gone in Northern Ireland back in the 70s, doesn't matter how tough you are, you'd have shit yourself as well. Them boys went through fucking hell and you're fucking doing that to them now. You pieces of shit. You need to be hung. Never mind attacking boys. It was bad for all sides. Nobody fucking won in that nonsense apart from government intelligence, because it managed to force government to its will and kept Northern Ireland in a fucking state of absolute madness. Anyway, let's not get into that. Assaults on retail workers. Oh, now then, look at that. Another one being snuck in up the arse. Assaults on retail workers are going to make it special. So they've got the plastic fantastic. So when you're going for food and there isn't on it, they won't serve you and you get excited. Oh, you're going to be dealt with. Remember, you're a person. You're not a man. Oh, you're a person. This is your shit. You're going to suffer. Assisted dying bill. So they want more of you to kill yourself. And medically, of course. Just get vaccinated. That's the start of it. Asylum seekers. Accommodation eviction procedures. Asylum seekers permission to work. Oh, denizens. Not citizens. And not foreigners. Remember, if you go back to them occupation videos, you, on the birth certificate, classed as foreigners, which is why you're being taxed. Englishmen only pay tax. Englishmen don't pay tax. Only foreign trade is taxable on foreigners. You're dead trust. Birth certificate, you're dead foreigners. You're being taxed. You're being bummed. You're being fined. You're being shagged. And now, spying on your house. You can't have sex. Unless it's with your wife. Yeah, it's just fucked up. Asylum support prescribed period bill. Automated facial recognition technology moratorium and review bill. Automatic electrical registration bill, which we've just discussed. Aviation banning orders. Disruptive passengers. You're going to get your fucking little ass banned if you don't obey. And that's going to be even in the airports. So if you're not happy fiddling up your little daughter, yeah, because that's what they're doing in America. You know, they perverts, these bastards at these airports, and they're basically feeling up your wife and your kids in front of you. Think about that one, okay? And if you start to disobey, they're going to activate a banning order on you, so you can't go fucking anywhere. And bad habitats regulation bill. There's another 266, but do you know what? I think you get the picture. So basically what I'm saying to you is, step out of the fear and the slavery and start to pay attention to what the fuck's going on all around you, outside the garbage. You know, this CMS, it's worrying. I'm wondering, is the vaccination the option? what happens? What use is people if they're just going to be like this? Time to take stock, people, because they're planning some pretty shit for this winter. With that, and my apologies for the exciting expletives and such, I will say, till the next time.